right. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirusho here. Now, whenever we last left off, Midoriya has been a bit, distraught. That's the only word I can think of right now. He has come to terms with the fact that he is falling behind. Without his gym abilities, he can't properly become the hero that he wanted to be, somewhat like his mother. And things are beginning to get worse. And all this time, he has been trying more and more dangerous things to try and awaken his gem abilities. The gem's actually being a bit more concerned, as over the next 10 months, he would be physically training with Mina and Bakugo, along with actually talking with Bismuth. Her actually asking if, well, whenever he does become a hero or a pro, what type of weapons would he like, or even plan on using. Midoriya basically talking with her at Little Homeworld, saying that he's not too sure. He always trained in those weapons because Pearl at least taught him how to use them against corrupted gems. In fact, I think she thought that we'd never really heal them or even get all of them. I know we probably missed one or two, but yeah. Those weapons I use mainly because I can just pierce their physical form, and the gem of poof being perfectly fine. Although I don't think I can use them on people. At least not my normal style of weapons. I'm a master in swordsmanship with a bow staff and these shock batons. In fact, Mina does know some of those, and I also do at least practice with a spear. It helps my acrobatics. And, well, Midoriya listing off more things. Bismuth being a bit surprised. Apparently, throughout his life, Midoriya has been learning more things. Along with that, Pearl, at first, she taught him to be good at ballet. That's slowly turned into gymnastics over the last couple months. Midoriya's, well, having a bit of a sleeker tone. He's a bit more muscular than in canon, or at least around season 4. And he is a lot taller and a bit more slender. But you can clearly tell that he has a lot of muscle on his body, especially for his size. Along with training with Bakugo and Mina over the next couple months. Roughly around after he found out his gem abilities may not return, he got more and more serious, pushing himself to more extremes. Until the day All Might sort of just showed back up, and tried to talk with Midoriya. Eventually, after some time, Midoriya would have thought about One for All. But at least he holds on to hope. His abilities will return. They have to. He can't just go without them for the rest of his life. Now, that would have been where he would just tell All Might that he would rather have his friends take on the quirk. All Might confused. Friends? As he would just explain. His friend, Mina. She would probably have a good use for the quirk, but then he also does have his friend Bakugo. Now, All Might, he would meet these two, and they would have been a bit surprised, to be completely honest. Meeting All Might and, well, training today. Not something they really thought would happen. As All Might was just given an explanation. He can pass down a power. And this power has been passed down for quite a long time. In fact, he was planning on giving it to Midoriya. But he believes that his power will return one day, and I will not fault him for that. In fact, it is good that this young man has kept hope. Keeping hope alive is good. As he somewhat just does look down at these two, saying, but, I'm not sure which one I would rather give it to. I have heard about your quirks. Acid and explosion. All Might pointing at these two, asking which one would like the quirk. Now, Midoriya knows what's about to happen. Bakugo probably won't take the quirk because he thinks it's going to be a lot more, hey, look at me, I'm using someone else's power. Well, he does know that Mina will actually probably want it. In fact, these two do know each other's quirks a lot better than, well, anyone else. Midoriya knows that she probably doesn't want to use her own acid. She's only ever used it against a gem, and anytime she uses it against any other organic material, yikes, it is heavily corrosive and a lot stronger. Now, Deku, he would just watch as both of these two immediately just throw their hands up into the air and say that they'll take the quirk. Actually surprising Midoriya. He didn't expect Bakugo to do that. He expected Mina, but, well, just not as fast as him. All Might's actually a bit confused. Yeah, this is not good. He can't give the quirk to both of them, sadly. But they will have to, well, figure out what to do. In fact, I believe that, as he would just think for a minute, asking which one of them would be physically stronger. Because this quirk, if you use it improperly, your arms and legs will probably go bursting off of your body. As the two would look at each other, and look back at All Might, saying that both of them are physically strong. In fact, as Bakugo just announced that he's stronger than her. Him actually using his confidence, knowing that, in fact, if Midoriya's power does return, then he probably would have an edge against him, with All Might's quirk. Not really understanding that All Might's quirk will be more powerful if he has it. Not knowing about the boost it gets from being passed down. Along with that, Mina does understand that if she gets the quirk, she won't have to rely on her acid a lot more. So that would at least be interesting. With that being said, this is whenever All Might would train, think about this more. Eventually, Midoriya just saying that they can just fight for it. Walking over to the warp pad and using the warp whistle. Everyone being teleported or at least warped away to the Sky Arena. As they would all begin. Now, Mina and Bakugo begin their fight. All Might sitting down and just watching this. Asking exactly what type of arena is this. Deku just explained that it's gem tech. And a gem structure. There's a lot of them around Earth and, well, yeah, I'll explain it to you more in a minute after we get done with this. As these two would face off. This was after 5 months. And he would just watch these two battle. These two actually spring into action. All Might told them to not use their quirks. In fact, use your physical abilities only. Otherwise, your battle with your quirks would probably kill you both. Now, this is when Mina would begin to jump around. She's trained more with Midoriya, so she does at least know some acrobatics. While Bakugo, he's physically stronger. After beating Midoriya once, he just increased his own training regimens. Now, the two are going back and forth. Bakugo going to throw punches and throw kicks, while Mina is doing targeted attacks, along with using a form of fighting style Midoriya has taught her. Now, Bakugo would be throwing punches and throwing kicks while Mina is doing this. Him actually going to throw a right hook and being able to smash her in the face, as she would brought her leg up and kick him directly in the ribs. being able to grab onto his hair and actually smash it down to her knee. Bakugo basically just bringing his head up and smashing it directly into her nose. Throwing up his arm and actually jabbing her directly, well, what is it? Right underneath her armpit, or her left armpit. Directly into the side of her ribcage, up top. Almost right by where your shoulder blade is. Being able to hit her there and actually hurt her. Her actually letting out a loud scream at this. And Midoriya is someone just watching. He's very uncomfortable with the way this fight's going already. And it's just gonna get worse. Him actually getting up and wanting to intervene. Am I just telling Midoriya that this isn't my style? But, well, if you really do want to help them, I can still look after them, but... As he would just tell Midoriya that that's fountain water, whatever you called it. The healing material. Do you know where to get more of that? Midoriya is saying yes he does. In fact, he'll go get it right now. Basically jumping up and leaving. Heading to Rose's fountain and getting the water. In some very big water bottles. Now, he would come back and find the battle. Mina has a bloody nose, and Bakugo, yeah, he's not too good either. These two actually having scrapes and cuts all over their bodies. And Mina actually coming in and jabbing him directly in the face, smashing her palm upwards into his nose, and then smashing her left arm, or smashing her left elbow, directly into his forehead, disorienting him quite a bit, proceeding to kick him directly in the chest, before Bakugo would have gone hitting the ground, using his hands and actually turning them, blasting an explosion, coming back up and smashing her directly in the face, and sending her flying. The force behind that punch was quite a lot, and she would hit the ground, Midoriya running over to help her. All might just telling Bakugo that that was not fair. Bakugo just saying, sorry, got a bit too carried away. Now, Midoriya would just pour this water on Mina, and then toss a water bottle over to Bakugo, as he would help Mina up and ask her if she's okay. Mina just saying that she'll be fine, as she does at least adjust her arm, telling Bakugo that that was a cheap shot. Bakugo is someone just smirking, and saying that in a real battle it's never going to be a fair fight. Now, All Might would just say that that is enough, and he would give the cork to Mina. If Bakugo truly believes that, then, well, he'll be a good hero himself. But his next successor will need to be a bit more of a peace-style person. Him coming to this decision on his own, instead of letting the battle decide it. Now, let us cut up to UA. After some time, Mina is still trying to figure out how to use this quirk. And Midoriya has been trying to help her. In fact, he has studied more heroes, and has been able to at least help her turn it on and off. She's able to use her quirk, or One for All, in a way similar to her slime ability. She can cover her arms and cover her legs, or at least her lower body. Still trying to figure it out. After breaking her arm, she's been trying to work on this. Midoriya has told her to at least try to tone it down more, or if she uses the quirk to just keep it on. Her basically having a version of full cowling that only involves certain parts of her bodies. Now, she does work on switching off on these though. So she's able to quickly switch it from her legs up to her arms, and vice versa. While Midoriya has been learning more and more about his acrobatics, and training very intensely. At one point, the crystal gems, someone had to step in. Midoriya using too much weight during a rep. Now, at the UA entrance exam, a lot of people do recognize him, and do realize exactly who he is. A lot of people running over and wanting to talk with him. Him basically just saying that it's quite alright, and well, he's just trying to get get into the school, not get into class. Now, a lot of people would have still talked with him until they all do have to rush inside and take the test. Midoriya actually did study a bit, not as much as he should have though, getting around a B minus, or at least a B. Well, Mina, she got a C plus, or at least a C. She did study with Midoriya, and well, a lot of times when they're at school, people mistook them for a couple, since they are always talking and reading books together. Now, for the combat portion. Now, Midoriya is ready for this. He's trained too much, and in fact, he doesn't want this to go to waste. He is going to try as hard as he can to get into this school, and if that does not work out, well, he's not too sure what he would do next. Now, this is the entrance exam. Him and Mina were able to actually get paired up into the same place. The way they are doing it in this timeline has changed. If you go to the same school, you actually will be in the same area. Before, someone just commented. Now, Midoriya would have gone to walk up front, to the front of the line. Him and Mina actually wanting to talk more. Now, Ida actually does not intervene. He knows that the two walked in together, and he would watch as Midoriya does walk forwards and actually give her some convincing words, telling her that everything will be fine and that she just needs to do her best. In fact, if she does, then that means they'll probably get an UA, and it won't be as complicated. Now, Midoriya, he would just begin. As soon as everything starts, Midoriya would have rushed forwards. Everyone watching him. They've all heard that he's half gem, so why is he so slow? A lot of them are very fast. Everyone watching as he does run forward and immediately look at the robot, blasting a large amount of fire directly at it. And burn it, scorching it and actually beginning to melt the metal, running forwards and bashing into it. Being able to pull out a handful of wires out of its arms and actually disable it. Now, Midoriya is aware that you don't have to destroy the robots. In fact, All Might actually told him that during the entrance exam, all you really need to do is disable them. After you do that, you are basically considered to have the points. Just make sure that they cannot get back up again. That's basically it. Deku actually doing so. He would work on actually ripping apart wires and actually taking them out, jumping onto robots using his acrobatic skills, and trying to grab handfuls of wires. Anytime he does need to, though, he would tear off some metal and begin to stab into it, or smash it downwards, focusing on certain parts of the robots, like their joints and other pieces. Midoriya actually using his fire breath, somewhat like a blowtorch, hopping onto one robot and actually beginning to burn away at its head, as he basically does pull out some wires and make it go haywire. It basically going out of control and rushing forwards, directly smashing into a line of other robots. Midoriya doing a backflip off of it and immediately taking a deep breath. Everyone watching as he covers the entire area in a wall of fire, as he does actually feel a bit out of breath. And he does think, where exactly is Mina? Him looking around. He does see a trail of acid, running around and actually following it, eventually finding her. She's in a situation where she's surrounded by robots, and she is using one for all, and one of her arms. She's somewhat using it at 10%, being able to smash into and actually dent the robots. People watching her, she just basically does this with her arms, along with actually let out a large blast of acid in every single direction. As she basically yells out for everyone to get away from this. Now, she would have melted away at them, and Midoriya, he would have had to actually jump backwards to avoid the attack. Him actually walking through it very carefully and telling Mina that that was a good job. In fact, he thinks that he has enough points. The two are actually getting ready, as a loud sound can be heard, both of them looking up and seeing the 0-pointer. The two actually turning to go and run. Mina knows for a fact that she cannot take that thing down, and Midoriya, without his powers, wouldn't be able to. This being where they would hear something. Midoriya actually stopping and turning and then running as fast as he can. Mina kind of shocked as she does actually take off that direction, following after him, running directly next to him at about 5% and asking him what's going on, as he would just say that there's someone over there. Her beginning to rush in and find out who this is, as this would be Ochako Uraraka. Or, I think I got that right. Anyways, she would be stuck under some rubble, and a bit surprised to see the person who came to save her is actually the people that everyone's talking about today. Or the person everyone is talking about today. I got my words mixed up. Now, Midoriya would begin to try and lift this rubble, along with Mina. Her actually using her one for all and able to throw it off of her. As Midoriya would just pick Ochako up and begin to run with her. Mina actually trying to let out a large blast of acid to try and at least slow this thing down, or corrode some of the metal. Her putting her hand out and immediately doing so, as this blast of acid would have been a lot more strong. She's learned to at least try and, use her quirk, somewhat like a squirt gun, if that does make sense. Holding out a finger and being able to blast it, compressing it inside of her body like a soda can. That is correct, okay. Now, that would be whenever they would have run away. And actually ask Uraraka if she'll be fine. Her just saying that she'll be okay, but exactly what is he doing here? I thought you would just get to UA in a recommendation. Midoriya is saying that he actually planned on taking the entrance exam himself. Besides, his friend would never let him live it down if he just got into UA very easily. Now, this is whenever Recovery Girl would have come out, and actually tell Midoriya that it is quite a surprise to see another healer on a battlefield. And in fact, she'll let him take care of this. As she would go to turn around, Midoriya having to explain that he actually doesn't have his abilities. Everyone's somewhat surprised at hearing that. He doesn't have those gem abilities that, they've heard about. So that means that the Son of Rose Quartz, as everyone just think in unison, is powerless. This being a bit of a letdown to them. Before they do think for a second, he still at least has his quirk. So he is at least optimistic. Well, that's good then. Now, this is whenever Recovered Girl would have healed Ochako. And, Mina and him would actually walk away. Both of them actually really excited. And going out. They would go out to go get something to eat. After, eating clean for a while, and working out a lot, they're going to have a bit of a cheat day, where they'd go out and get some burgers and some shakes, having a bit of fun and actually talking inside the booth. As, whenever the shake does arrive, it's only one with 2 straws in it, Deku and her are kinda confused. Before going to ask the waitress exactly what is this, they ordered two mediums. Her just saying that she made that one large for the young couple. Midoriya and her are actually getting quite a bit flustered. Before trying to explain, with a red face, that they're not a couple. The waitress being a bit... sorry about that mix-up. Yeah. Anyways, they would have learned that they got in a UA. Midoriya did at least get around 4th or 5th place, while Mina placed more around 3rd. Now then, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoy the video, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.